Okay, everybody, I'm here to complete an activity where I am conducting advanced web exploration, or AWE, in response to this question, which is, when there is an outbreak of dangerous, contagious disease, such as Ebola, what are the pros and cons of locking down the area, city, town, county, or country, and forbidding all movement of people in and out of the area? Um, All right, where to begin? So I guess already I'm thinking about my key terms. And so I'm thinking contagious disease, pros and cons, and lockdown. And so I am going to start a new tab here. I prefer tabs over windows. I think it's easier to navigate between tabs rather than windows. Although I guess windows do have a place for them, time and place. But for now, just focusing on tabs. I'm going to keep this one open in case I need to go back to my question. So I'm going to go to Google, which is my preferred search engine, and contagious disease, pros, cons, lockdown. All right, so already I see my top choice, and someone who uses Google, I usually start at the top. Although I do look and try to be aware of my sources. So the Pandora report, I am not familiar with. I do see it's a .org, and so why don't I start there? So I do see this as a blog, and one of the things that I learned from reading the article for this week was that the authors recommended using blogs after fact-finding, and I thought that was a useful thing, and so I'm making a connection to what I had read previously here, and so I'm going to explore this blog a little bit, but knowing that the authors recommended when completing a LICRA search, which is a learner-initiated, complex, reciprocally adaptive search that looking at blogs should come after some fact-finding. So I guess what I'll do is look at the contributors here and see if this is a trustworthy source. I see that the writers seem to be professors at George Mason, which seems to be a trustworthy source. It's not as if, I'd be more skeptical if they were from like a for-profit online college or something like that. And so I guess I'm still curious about what exactly is the Pandora report. I'm familiar with Pandora as in Pandora's box, so I'm assuming that's what they mean. So the Pandora report provides commentary and analysis of biodefense news, policy, and research. The main attractions of the blog include the Pandora report, our weekly roundup of providing our take on the week's most important news and events, along with links to important stories. So that to me seems interesting, but maybe not exactly what I'm looking for. Maybe I, again, would come back to the blog after find a more sort of factual, although a report is a fact, I suppose. But it's a roundup of news. Anyway, I'm going to keep this in mind and go back to my search. So I'm someone who won't start a new tab for each of these, but let's see what pros and cons of keeping disease stockpiles. Not exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, when I have to lock down an area, what are the pros and cons? So this again looks like something that might be interesting, but it looks like it's a Google site, potentially from a student. I'll click on it to see what's going on here. But yeah, this looks like a student wrote this. Well, I'm all supportive of students and finding authentic audiences for them, I'm going to say no to that. So at this point, I'm gonna use my newfound Lycra search skills and realize previously I think I normally just look through the first page or so, but knowing that research can spread across as they call it, the knowledge landscape into different mediums. So maybe I'll just click on news here. That doesn't seem useful to me. That's not really helping me answer about the question on pros and cons of locking down an area. I've never actually, I don't think actually clicked on the news tab, and this seems not to be very helpful. And measles outbreak, again, sort of that news, just as the blog was talking about the different news stories. So I'll go to images. Again, let's just see what we got here. So I think it's a TV show. How vaccines work, why plan, slideshare.net. So I just hover over this and see I'm not really looking for a slideshare.net. That doesn't seem to be good. So vaccination, pros and cons. I'm now moving into vaccinator, non-vaccinator. Everyone can vaccinate, in my opinion. Videos, flu vaccine effectiveness. Again, from a Pinterest site. So I'm noticing just, knowing about very little about Google algorithms, but knowing that they can, I believe, be manipulated. So, I mean, it's surprising that Pinterest would be the top choice. Bear Cub gets a piggyback ride. Also, I'm not really sure how that has anything to do with my search language. So, right now, feeling a little bit frustrated that I haven't found anything that looks so great. So what I might do is go thinking about other things that I know in terms of like protocol might be the CDC, or the Center for Disease Control, and see what they have. And so I'm taking here, CDC works 24/7 controlling, containing, and eliminating health threats. That's sort of just what the CDC does. So already, I guess just to think about what I just did there for a second, using prior knowledge and thinking, okay, my initial search across different media wasn't very helpful. And so now, I guess what I should have done from the beginning was ask myself what I already know about the subject and gone to the CDC. Although this is just telling me sort of what they do, which I guess I knew that is what they do. Doesn't help me answer the question per se. So let's click on the hyperlink and see if that tells me anything. Just a one-page PDF. That just gives me stands against health threats from disasters, fights contagious diseases, but again, doesn't actually answer my question. So yeah, at this point, I'd say that I'm feeling a little bit stuck, and maybe that has to do with my I'm gonna put disease, pros and cons, lockdown. Okay, that's my 9-minute timer. I've got about a minute left. Let's see if I can get anything worthwhile. Part of me now is thinking, okay, I should go to Wikipedia as a starting place, knowing too, though, that the authors don't believe that Wikipedia is sort of post-Gutenberg thinking, although might be a good start for someone who's never done post-Gutenberg thinking as a sort of there and back model. So disease control Wikipedia. Let's see if I can get anything on there. And it looks like there's back to the CDC. So not a terribly fruitful 10 minutes, and yeah, I'll have to, this emphasizes how difficult this post Gutenberg thinking is for me.